Gentlemen, welcome back to the shop. Today, a man cave warming gift. Not that kind of man cave. My buddy just bought his first house. He's got the foosball table set up. He's almost got a ping pong table convinced out of the the girlfriend. He living in sin, not quite married yet, but you know, common law, that's how it goes. But yeah, he's carved out his own little man cave, so I figured, what the hell? You can't really buy cool stuff in the stores nowadays. It's all the same old crap. If you want something cool, you gotta make it yourself. So this is that. I need to make an etch resist for etching glass, and I don't have a gasket punch big enough to make a hole that big, so I'm gonna use these JIC fittings, chuck them up in the lathe and just sharpen that up. It's already got a nice chamfer on there, but we'll sharpen that up and we'll be able to punch a whole bunch of different size holes. Then I can just throw these in the toolbox junk drawer and have them for next time. Holy, I must have been drunk. I do not remember doing that. Alright, we're ready. Those of you of the religious right persuasion, you might want to look away. We're going to do a little fancy reverse action here. And that's so we can use the compound on the far side. So, oh yeah, I get to show off my variable frequency drive. Just change the direction. Stupid like a fox. I get to test out my VV Boutique Stanley, made in Canada. Ball peen hammer, P-E-E-E-N. They don't make them like this anymore. Perfect. Hey, did you hear that one about the dyslexic that walks into a bra? Those gloves are quite fetching, by the way.
To cover my man hands.
So what's going on? You're just putting a big old dollop of this goo on there?
Yep.
And what's going to happen?
It's gonna work its magic. Etch some glass.
Okay. Well, thank you for having us in your kitchen. Now, for the PLINKO pegs, I've decided to use these 1/8 7018 rods. They've been sitting around outside the rod oven. There you can smell they've gone off. It smells like hydrogen embitterment to me. Make it a mess. Everybody's got to have a talent. Now this doesn't strike me as the least bit dangerous. Maybe it should. Whoa! Okay, I'm gonna put the camera down. Well, I got over 150 of these PLINKO pegs to part off, which doesn't strike me as a fun way to spend a Saturday afternoon. Well, I think this is a good idea. We got these ganged up. We're gonna cut them with a slitting saw, and I just got this piece of wood. That's gonna make sure that all these get clamped equally and none are weeble wobbling. And this is the slitting saw. This one's a little chewy, so we're gonna change this wood hogger one for more of a jeweler's style one. I've been laying out this sheet metal and it just doesn't have the right tone. It's not beefy enough. This would be a good candidate for using wood, but as a non-practicing vegetarian, the thought of having a tree carcass on display for games is just kind of morbid. So we're going to go ahead and change to 1/8 thick plate steel. And bonus nachos, because on the thick material I can use my magnetic saw guide. As you can imagine, metal cutting saw blades can get a little bit spendy, so I like to put some wax lube on there. Little dabble do ya. We'll give her a little tickle on the backside as well. 70 1/8 by 3/4 flat bar. So I just cut it out of the plate. And I'm going to cut it on the chop saw. Now when you're down to the nub end of the stock, when you go to close your vise up, it's not going to close properly. It's going to tweak off to one side. So you just take a pre-cut piece of stock and you stick it in the other side, and that way it doesn't seesaw on you. Seesaw is the technical term. Here are the cut and deburred PLINKO wickets. As you can see, we got a little bit of the royal teeth happening here. That's okay, because I got a clapped out old Bridgeport milling machine. Because this is a clapped out old machine, you definitely don't want to do any climb milling. It's all conventional. So we're making the base now. It's got a 1/4 radius bended section, and all I've done is I've set the saw cut depth to a 1/16 of an inch, and I've gone and scored where I want the bends to be. I don't have a hydraulic press or anything like that, so this is the easy way to do it. Now I got it clamped up in the vise along the bend line. We're going to put a little pre-tension on it with an adjustable wrench, and then beat it into submission. So here's the end result. Not too bad. A few little apprentice marks. And now we come to the gratuitous use of LED part. I can't find flat top NeoPixel LEDs. These are multicolor LEDs. I can't find the flat top, so I'm going to make the flat top. And the problem is holding the work in the milling vise is going to be tough because it's plastic. So I'm going to make a little fixture. I just took 2 pieces of plywood and some Alec Chickens tape, and I'm putting in the LEDs by laser eyeball. Well, that didn't take any time at all. I just upped the stroke speed on the old Armstrong drawbar puller. I've been working out of town, so I'm all practiced up. All the steel's cut and the components are formed. Most of the machining's done except for the back plane. Well, the burnishing's going quite well. I don't know where you can buy a proper burnishing tool. I just put emery cloth on the bottom here, tape it on, and then gear clamp. Pretty sketchy. I go super slow, and you know, clearly it's a widowmaker, so keep your fingies out of the way. 1, 2, 3. 1, 1, 2. 1, 1. Inch an hour, 2 feet a day. So here's another way to burnish a pattern, is you roll up some emery cloth, stick it in a collet. You gotta have a collet machine to do that, not a Jacob's chuck, but it's, I think, way safer, and it lasts a lot longer. And now we just gotta drill the 500,000 holes. I like to put a clamp on because it's easier than holding with your hand. It's all drilled, we're ready to put the PLINKO pins in. I'm taking the masking tape off because I'm going to TIG weld these in place. Yes, TIG. And once you heat up this masking tape, the adhesive gets real nasty to take off, so it's better just to take it off now. Less hassle. We've got all the pinholes populated now, and I don't want to go ahead and measure every single one of these before I weld it. So I just Took the time to make a little spotting jig here so we get the correct depth every time. This is, I'm doing this left-handed, so this should be interesting. The left hand is my off hand. So that's basically it. I got to switch around to my right hand so you're not going to be able to see anything. Right, the welds are all cooled off. We got some oxidation there. So I'm going to use some rust remover, this pickling paste, and just quickly put it on and take it off right away. That should get rid of the oxidation. Here's a plexiglass sheet that I'm going to cut to size, and that'll be the guard so the PLINKO puck doesn't fall out. Now the fun part, I get to turn down this piece of real stiff plastic. I really like turning plastic on my little play lathe here because I get to pretend it's a big lathe and take big cuts. There we go. There's our puck. To begin with, I wasn't sure what material this was, but after cutting it, I'm 99% sure it's Teflon, so that'll make for a real nice slippery puck. And that there is the brains of the operation. Of course, you can't have a cool project nowadays without hanging an Arduino off it. And this even more better. It's got a prototyping shield, what for making it all cutesy, running the 3-channel RGBs. Overkill by far, but you always got to leave for the upgradability, what for impressing the ladies with the talkie and the extra explosive bits and this, that, the other thing. Well, there it is. I think the burnishing really sets off the greasy stripper pole shower aesthetic. Loving it. Skook 'em too. DRINKO. Come on down. You're the next contestant on DRINKO. Please remember to help control the drink population. Have your dink flayed and pootered. Oh, and gotta test it out. Everyone's a winner. Thanks a lot for watching. Keep your dick in a vice. The girls are playing DRINKO and the boys are getting stinko. We'll think no more of Inko on a Sudbury Saturday night.